Welcome to another episode of The Stacks. I am your host, Tracy Thomas, and today we're talking with celebrity trainer Alec Penix. Alec has a new book out. It's about getting healthy for your mind, body, and spirit. It's called 7 Sundays. We're in the middle of our first annual The Stacks Book Club Battle of the Books, and you can vote over on our Instagram page. If you're not following us, go to @TheStacksPod on Instagram, and you can vote in our stories for your favorite book of the season. We'll announce the winners on December 31st. If you love The Stacks, check out our Patreon page. Patreon is a website that allows you to contribute to the show and help me keep giving you all awesome bookish podcasts. In exchange for your generosity, I lined up some awesome perks just for you. Things like our virtual book club, submitting questions of our guests, getting to be a member of the Stacks Pack, and shout outs on the show. I want to give a special thank you to our newest member of the Stacks Pack, Florence Candell. Thank you, Florence, and thank you all of our members of the Stacks Pack. If a monthly subscription isn't something you can commit to right now, that's totally okay. You can do one-time contributions by going to paypal.me/thestackspod. Make sure you're following The Stacks on social media so you never miss a thing, like Battle of the Books and other exciting stuff that's coming your way in 2019. There are links to all of our accounts in the show notes. Also in the show notes, you'll find links to everything we talk about on today's episode. Using those links to shop for anything on Amazon also helps The Stacks and comes at no cost to you. Okay, listeners of this show, you're super familiar with this part. This is the part where I ask you to subscribe and rate and review. But I realized I've never really told you how to do it. So here goes. If you're listening to us through Apple Podcasts, go ahead and click on that podcast app, that purple one. Then you're going to click the search icon in the bottom right corner. From there, I want you to type The Stacks and enter. You'll see my logo pop up. You just click on it. If you have not yet, you'll hit that purple subscribe button. Now you're subscribed. From here, I need you to scroll down a little bit, and you're going to see something that says ratings and reviews. There'll be some stars over on the right-hand side. Go ahead, click 5 stars, and then a little bit further down, back on the left side, you're going to see write a review in purple. Click there. You're going to write a little review. It'll ask you for a username or something. You can make it up. It doesn't have to be your name. No one cares. But you put that in, you put in a little blurb about the show, and now you click enter, and you're done. It's super easy. It really helps the show. And now that you're done with that, we can get on with the episode. Here's my conversation with celebrity trainer and author of 7 Sundays, Alec Penix. All right, everybody, we are here today with our guest, Alec Penix. Alec is a celebrity trainer and the author of a brand new book on fitness and Christianity called 7 Sundays. Alec, welcome to The Stacks.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited you're here. Okay, so here's what I want to know. I want to know something about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself that's not you're a celebrity trainer. So like maybe where you're from, how you got to LA, something along those lines.
Yes. Okay. Well, I am from Michigan. I'm from a small town in Michigan. Have you heard of Chelsea, Michigan?
No.
No. Okay. It's right outside of Ann Arbor. So I grew up as a huge Michigan fan.
Okay. Basketball, football, everything.
Everything.
Okay.
I'm a huge sports guy. And my dream as a young kid was to play at the University of Michigan. Then people started calling me Rudy, meaning like I wasn't good enough to go to Michigan. But after that, I ended up playing at the University, Eastern Michigan University for football for a little bit. But it wasn't my thing anymore. Then I then went to University of Kentucky to sort of get away from home, to spread my wings a little bit and see what I was all about. And I wanted a little bit of taste of SEC football and all that, and the Southern girls and the cooking and all that. And then after that, I came out to Hollywood. So,
amazing.
Yeah, it's been quite.
So you kind of did Midwest, Southern, West Coast.
Yeah, I've kind of been all over the place. I tell everyone that if it wasn't for my journey to Kentucky, I probably would never had the courage to come out to Hollywood.
Right.
So I look back at things, you can connect the dots going back.
Sure.
And you're like, everything happens for a reason.
That makes so much sense. Well, let me ask you this way. You're a celebrity trainer, or what we call a celebrity trainer, which I think is like kind of a silly thing. And it like sounds super glamorous. And like, it sounds like you're just standing next to like Kim Kardashian and being like, do a crunch or something. Yeah. But like, what do you feel like in your job is actually super cool, glamorous LA? And then what about your job? Are you like, this is a nightmare. People do not understand how horrible this is.
I think one of the coolest things is seeing your work on stage or on TV. When you are working with a celebrity over and over and over again, you have this intimate connection with them,
Right.
and you see their body transform over a course of however long it is.
Right.
And so when you see them performing and doing their thing, you're like, I played a little bit in that, like
Right.
a little
Totally.
part into that. And it wasn't just like their physical transformation, it was also the bond and the relationship that you have throughout that journey as well.
Right.
But something that people overlook, we from an outsider, you always look into someone's job and you're
Right.
like, oh, I wish I had their job.
Right. Of course.
But you don't realize the sacrifices and all the other bad, negative things that are come along with it as well. And it's not like negative things, but when you're ever dealing with, for instance, when I was on tour with the band Big Time Rush,
Okay.
there's four guys.
Okay.
And so it's not always an easy thing to deal with all those personalities.
Right. Sure. And
So-
are you doing each one at a time, or are you doing
Well, you
like
would
group
think
training?
that let's just do a group training, guys. But
Right.
it's like when you have egos and you have that competition there, they're like, well, I want
see.
my time at this time, and so it wasn't an easy thing to juggle.
Right, because you're managing their personalities and then
Yes.
also trying to manage their bodies and what they're eating and all that stuff.
And everyone has a different vision, and they want like, this
Right.
and that. Someone's
Interesting.
vegan and someone's not. It's like, okay, I mean, I can do it, but we could also just like, I can give you guys all a great workout right now.
Yeah, we could all just do this together and like all then to go take a nap or something.
Right. I guess maybe that was just more of me being lazy. I don't know.
I feel that. I mean, because I work in fitness also. I teach cycling classes, so it's a little bit different. It's not quite as one-on-one, but one of the things I feel like people don't ever think about is that you really are managing people in some of their most vulnerable places.
Mhm.
And for everyone who's listening who exercises, you know that feeling of like you go to do a workout and you're just like, I can't do it. Like I'm
Mhm.
having a bad day. This is the
Mhm.
worst. And you start really like getting down on yourself. And I'm assuming, especially in personal training, it's an intimate relationship.
Definitely. It's either, like you said, it's getting somebody motivated
Right.
to work out if they've had a bad day, or someone comes in ready to work out because
Mhm.
it's been an emotional day.
Right.
And then you take them through this intense workout, and then they start crying
Right.
because they're so emotional. And it's like this emotional release.
Right.
And so
Totally.
you just deal with a lot of this crazy stuff. But the whole point, I think, when it comes to being a personal trainer, is not just changing their body, but also giving them the best experience they possibly
Totally.
can have. I want them to understand that when they will leave with a better experience, they'll feel better once they leave me in the
Right.
session, and that's the goal. And it's not
Totally.
it's not about me and dealing with their personalities. It's about overcoming that and
Yeah.
still delivering them a great experience.
That's such a good segue to talk about your book.
Yay!
So, Alec's book is called 7 Sundays, and it's a book about fitness goals, nutrition goals, but it's also a book about Christianity and spirituality and how that influences the way that people are able to grow and achieve those goals.
Mhm.
So I read the book. I thought it was interesting.
Wow.
I thought it was a really interesting approach. You said, wow, of course I read the book. This is a book podcast.
It's not about your reading skills.
No.
It's just like, I mean, it always makes, it's like my book. You read the whole thing.
Yeah,
It's
I read
crazy.
the whole thing. I read everything. I had an interesting response to the book because, well, I'll be fully disclosed. I'm not religious, and I'm specifically not Christian. I was raised, my mother's Jewish, so like I'm Jewish, but I kind of never really connected with religion. And so reading your book as someone who comes from the fitness side, I was like, this is so interesting because, of course, the spiritual, I understand that, but actually seeing it connected to the Bible and like seeing it so specific, I was like, this is so different from anything I've ever experienced. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I also was like, could I incorporate this? So I guess the question is, for someone like me who's not Christian and maybe agnostic or Jewish or Buddhist or whatever, how can they approach your book?
I always tell people that this book is really about the expression of me and my journey.
Sure.
That God was the catalyst for my transformation.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean that that would be true for you,
Right.
or anyone else for that matter. And that's why I say, hey, there are great lessons in this book,
Sure.
practical lessons that you can apply into working out, sleeping, your nutrition,
Yeah.
and even spirituality when it comes to conditioning the mind and conditioning your spirit. if you want to replace Jesus or God with whatever name, universe, life, Buddha, I am not going to be that person that's saying, no, that's not right.
Sure.
I am just not that person. And for me to say that I am somebody else would be going against who I am truly.
Sure.
But it's really just an expression of what I went through. And I kind of spoke upon this earlier, is that it was really about how God, it was about having that faith in God that got me to embark on this journey.
Right.
And then how that sort of helped me have faith in myself.
Right. And you do talk about that kind of in the intro of the book. Let's talk about kind of your like approach, because I think it's really cool and it's a word. Do you want to tell people kind of like how the book is broken down a little bit?
Yeah. So you're talking about the acronym CHOSEN, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's a 43-day devotional, and if for those of you who do not know what a devotional is, people automatically think it's like this religious exercise experience that you're going to have. But I say, with 7 Sundays, I want you to have the freedom to choose whatever that is for you. But a devotional is really breaks it down day by day. So it's a 43-day devotional, or 7 Sundays, you can call it. And every day you're going to be doing something a little bit different.
Right.
Like you said, it's not just something that you're going to be doing with exercise, nutrition, and sleep. It's also something that you're going to apply spiritually, where it's like an introspection that you have with yourself about sort of diving deep within that and sort of embarking and allowing that spiritual aspect to come into those weaknesses and to give you that strength that you need to sustain throughout the journey. And then on top of that, you also have a element of going out into the world and sharing and connecting with your friends, your family, and if it's your community, to go not only to empower yourself, but empower those around you. And so you want to break it down. You have this word CHOSEN that I picked because it was a word that I turned to when I was younger, or when I first started this journey too. It wasn't like it wasn't like this affirmation that you say over and over and over again, but it was something that I used to condition my mind into to think that I really was chosen. And it's something that you're not only going to be saying, but something that you're going to be applying. And really what chosen means is that you have conceding, which is for the C, conceding, honoring, and offering, which are the 3 spiritual elements of it. Conceding it's just like a simple prayer. It's acknowledging God, or whoever you want it to be, and it's really activating that faith to get you in the right mindset. And then you have honoring, and I like to tell people that we often pay attention to our physical diet, but we often overlook our spiritual diet. So it's really about it's having a scripture and just saying that to yourself and conditioning your mind and saying that I can do anything through God who strengthens me. Anything is possible. Those types of things, and you have that a different honoring each and every day as you move forward. It can actually, you start to really believe this,
right?
And then you, like I said on before, you have the offering as well, and that's the 3 elements.
That was my favorite. I really liked
it's kind of
offering.
cool, right? Yeah.
So offering is kind of like doing something for others or showing up for other people. So sometimes it's, feeding someone.
Yeah.
One that I really liked was doing something physical for someone else who might have needed that help. I just thought that was really nice because there are so many people around us who maybe need like someone to come pull their Christmas decorations down.
Right.
It could be so easy. And for you, it could be like nothing. And for them, it's like something they're dreading.
Yeah.
So I really liked offering that. That one really spoke to me. And then the other 3 are more what you're going to think of as like a typical body fitness. So those are sleep, exercise, and nutrition.
And even within that, I think
some of them are really subtle and cool.
Yes.
Totally.
And that's what I like is that we often focus so much on our destination. We want to lose 15 pounds, 20 pounds, that we don't pay attention to what to do today and the little things that we have to do today, because it's like a compounding effect. Like that doesn't just happen with money. It happens with self-empowerment as well. Compounding those little victories each and every day to give you that confidence to lose that 15 pounds. And so I like how there is like little things here and there that you like. It helps you acknowledge those things and say, wow, I am amazing. I just pushed away that cheesecake.
Right. Totally. And I think like the spiritual part of it, or the emotional, or whatever you want to call it, the internal part of it, I think that especially with the offering, it's like when you do something really good for someone else, you feel so good.
Oh.
You feel empowered. You're like, yeah, I also can do this other good thing for
Yeah.
me. Like it's a stepping stone.
Yeah.
So I think I just like for whatever reason, the offering one, I was like so into every day. It's really cool.
It's really cool. It's different.
And I took one, I actually used it in my life.
Did you?
Went to Starbucks, and one of the offerings was like to introduce yourself, like to find out the people around you, their name.
Yeah.
And I go to Starbucks all the time, and I went in and I was like, by the way, what was your name? And then I like smiled because there was one that was like smile at everybody. I just felt so good. I was like walking down the street.
Yeah, because a simple act like that, like, oh, that
So
person
easy.
actually cares about my name. Like that's if somebody that's come in a lot and now like they acknowledged me, and that something like that can change someone's life, and it's a ripple effect.
And it could change your life too. Like it can be selfish as you want it to be.
But it is. That's how relationships work. It's about not about what you can get out of the relationship, it's about what you give. And ultimately both people are benefited from it. And I tell people that with offering, it's like it's the quickest way to get out of depression. It changes your state of mind. It puts you in a state of gratitude instantly.
It brings you to the moment too, like very present in the moment. A lot of the offerings. Another thing that I loved was one of the sleep ones was wash your sheets. And I just was like, that's so funny and great. But it's true. Like when you get in a clean bed, you're like, I'm going to just sleep in this bed all day. Like all I want to do is lay in this clean bed. So I really like that one.
Yes, it's really... This is the one thing I'm guilty of is using my bedroom as more than a place to sleep and be intimate with whoever. I use it as a place of entertainment and food and all of that stuff. And it's like one of the keys, I think, to your bedroom and sleep is utilizing it solely for like certain things.
Totally. There's like a section of, so basically, let me give a little bit more. The book kind of starts off and it's really easy. Like everything seems really easy. And by that last week, so if you didn't do the math, I didn't at first, 43 days is 6 weeks and a Sunday.
Right.
Either the first one or the last one, depending on how you want to think about it. So it's a 6 week plus one program. And in the beginning, it's like, just notice these things. And then by the end, it's like, we're cracking down. No phone in the bedroom. Like no screen time. No intermittent fasting.
Can't
like,
enjoy life.
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
like you start. But and you also set really realistic expectations for people's bodies to change. You say about 1 to 2 pounds a week is like realistic.
Yeah.
And I do kind of have a follow-up on that. As we're talking now, it's right around New Year's and people are setting goals for their body and those changes that they want to see for New Year's resolutions. What do you think are successful tools and tips people can use as they set goals to change their body that incorporate not only like achievable goals, but also ways to help them keep going when we get to March and June and October?
Right. I say that in this time, especially when it comes to like Thanksgiving and then now Christmas, is to have those realistic expectations with yourself.
Right.
And maybe for some people, you can excel during this moment. What people don't really understand about when it gets cold, and I'm kind of going off on a tangent here for
it's
a second.
Okay. We tangent all the time around here.
Is that naturally our bodies sense this change in that we crave different types of foods. I don't know if people realize that their appetites actually increase during the times when it gets cold outside. So also know that you're fighting against our natural instinct as well. And then on top of that, you have the dinners, all the food and the desserts,
holiday
and
parties,
the holiday
cocktail
parties, and the drinking and all of that. And hey, that's fine, but we need to have realistic expectations during this season. And the key is not to go so far back. Actually, I say let's focus on maintaining during this time.
Right.
Maintaining so that when you can reflect upon this whole year and how far you've gone on your own fitness journey, and that you're like, shoot, man, I wish that last month I would have just stayed focused like I was doing. Let's keep keep the same type of regiment. Don't try to overdo it. Don't try to
lose 10 pounds in December.
Just maintain. Don't worry about the weight. Don't worry about any of that, because realistically, you're gonna go tap into some of that food that you probably wouldn't eat normally. You're gonna go back to the family. Your whole routine changes. So having the right mindset, I think, allows us to be easier on ourselves, and that we start in a better place when it comes to January.
Right. I heard this one great thing. I wonder what you'll think about it. Someone, a nutritionist that I was working with, they said, obviously, if you're a person who drinks, so someone who's not sober, if you're a person who drinks and you're doing holiday parties, you're going to be drinking, you're going to be going out, you're going to be enjoying yourself. And they said you should commit to drinking your least favorite alcohol that you enjoy. So like if you love vodka, you shouldn't drink vodka. You should drink tequila because like you like tequila, but you don't love tequila. So you're less likely to drink 5. You might just have 1 or 2 and kind of sip it throughout the night. And I thought that was such a good thing.
Yeah.
You just say like, look, you can drink. This isn't about depriving yourself of enjoying your time with your family and friends, but it's about making choices like that. Like if you love macaroni and cheese and you're like, I can't only do 1 helping, then maybe you say, I'm not going to do the macaroni and cheese. I'm going to do mashed potatoes instead because I like the mashed potatoes.
Exactly. Having, and I talk about having healthy alternatives in my book as well. But it's little tricks like that go a long way. I love the psychology behind that. It's like, we'll have it instead of like having mixed drinks. Why don't you just have it like on the rocks or something, and then something that you don't like, have fun with that.
Right. Don't do something you hate.
Yeah.
Like
right.
If you hate gin, don't drink gin. Like that's no fun.
Yeah. But it is time to. It is a time to enjoy and reflect on the year and spend time with your family and so don't be so hard on yourself.
Right.
Enjoy that moment and. There are little tricks that I tell people is that if you can, why don't have your dinner earlier? Like instead of having it so late, what about moving it like around 5 or 6? Because anything really past 7 o'clock or whatever, your body says, I'm not storing that. I really believe in a food curfew.
Okay.
So bringing the food, the dinner down a couple hours earlier, I think will also make a huge difference. Allow your food to digest, and so you're not going to bed feeling so full.
So full, yeah. So let's talk about this food curfew because it comes up towards the end of the book. I think it's the last 2 weeks we do the fasting, or is it the last 3 weeks?
It's going to be the last 2 because we have intermittent
and then we have Daniel fast. So I have always been really curious about intermittent fasting as someone who exercises in the morning, because if you don't know, intermittent fasting is basically, well, in your case, it's 8 hours of a day where you can be eating and 16 hours of the day where you are not eating anything. You can have black coffee and you can have non-sugared honeyed tea, and then you can have water. And you can brush your teeth, I think, right? It's not like Rosh Hashanah, or it's not like Yom Kippur where you like can't even brush your teeth.
Please brush your teeth.
Yeah, please brush your teeth, people. And then once the fasting, so you set your 8 hours of when you're going to eat, but the rest of the time you're not eating. So my question is, someone who exercises a lot in the morning, I get super hungry after after working out. So is that going to be a problem for someone like me? Like, do I need to replenish that protein right after eating, or you're saying that it's safe to not do that?
Well, I would definitely recommend working out on an empty stomach. That's what I do. That's like one of my tricks is that I always want to, like in the morning, I always work out on an empty stomach. I do my cardio and my weights on an empty stomach. And that's, I think, really been one of the keys to my own success. But I always tell people to eat after you work out.
Right.
They talk about that, like, that 2-hour window or whatever. So if you can plan it out, so maybe you eat dinner a little bit earlier the night before,
right?
And then you can plan it out where you can have that workout in. And honestly, maybe your intermittent fasting isn't 16 hours. Maybe it's 14, but it's still going to be effective over a course of the time if you're implementing it consistently into your regimen. Okay. And so with me also, I've found it says 16 hours, but I have a higher metabolism because I've conditioned my body to be that way.
Right.
And so 16 hours, I was famished.
Right.
Like, and then what I do, I went to go eat and I overate, and then I got tired. And so what I did is I listened to my body and told me do 14 hours. I did 14 hours, and then that's when I was on this routine, and then I could then move my workout up a little bit if possible. Not everyone can do those things. But if you can move your workout up a little bit and then have that food right after to sort of replenish that, like at least doing up to like 30 minutes to an hour after a workout is key.
Okay, that's
if
good
that makes
to know.
sense.
No, it does. Because I was thinking, like, if you work out in the evening, sure, that's easy. If you're doing your intermittent fasting and you're starting at noon and you can eat from noon to 8. But if you work out at 6 a.m., then that means you're done eating at 2 p.m. if you start eating like soon thereafter, 3 p.m. So I was like, how does that work for an early morning person if you have to go to your job and
Yeah, I did. I've been. I like to experiment because I like to implement those things with my clients, and if they work, if I think it's realistic. I did go to a period where I would work out in the morning and I wouldn't eat until that fasting period was ready. And I did see my body change. I got leaner. I did lose a little muscle mass. So it's really that whole eating right after a workout is really about maintaining and building that lean muscle.
Yeah.
And it's also about having sanity too,
Right.
because
I get so hungry.
Yeah, you use your brain. Like, you have to feed carbs. You have to feed your brain in order to be effective,
right,
as well. So I'm not in.
You're flexible.
I'm flexible. I'm not in the business of making people ineffective.
Right.
I want your life to be better.
Work. Yeah, to work for you. Okay, that's so awesome. We're going to kind of transition now into reading. We're going to move away from your book a little bit into some of the books that you love and then inspire and excite you. So we always start with this question. What are 2 books you love and 1 book you hate? Or if you don't want to say hate, you can say a book that you're just like not that into.
Okay. 2 books that I love. Well, I'm like this instant, like the books I've been reading this year, and it's really about the self-empowerment. It's about conditioning, not only the body, but your mind and your emotions. And one of the, it's changed me a lot, and people have their own opinions about Tony Robbins, but The Awaken the Giant Within is, I think, one of the better self-help books that I probably have ever read. I mean, we, not to go on a little tangent, we have this thing, we go read self-help books, but a lot of times we can't help ourselves. So that's why I'm in a period of now, I think, that having that faith in myself that I can apply some of these things that are in these books, and I actually do them, so that's been one. And then another book that I love to read is quick is the Four Agreements,
which we're going to be talking about next week, everybody. So get excited. So let's not talk about it too much, since you're going to spend a whole bunch of time.
You guys, you're making me hold off.
I'm making you hold back, but you're going to have like 45 minutes to talk about it next week. Okay, what about a book you don't like so much or that you hate?
I'm always the positive person, so I every book I can get a little bit out of, and if I don't,
you're too nice for this show.
I always feel like I can get something out of anything, and if I don't like it, I think that I'll just stop reading it, and it doesn't really ever get to a point of like, I hated that book. I just get bored.
Okay, that's fair. You can have that answer. Safe. Oh, yeah. What's the last great book you read?
The last great book I read this book about, it's called Superbrain.
Okay.
And it is about Deepak Chopra, and wrote this book, and he talks a lot about just how body, mind, and spirit enlightened me a lot. We throw around body, mind, and spirit, and we really don't know what that means.
Sure.
It's much more than we can imagine, but because of that new relationship that I have, and that understanding, I can totally I think direct myself in a better way, control my emotions in a better way. And not to get so deep here, but you can read it in my book, but I was diagnosed with a learning disability when I was younger. So I have this absolute hunger and obsession to learn about the brain and to understand it better. And so because of that, because of these books that I've been reading, they've been changing my life. They really have been changing my life. And to see myself differently, to see that, I was just a product of this identity that I placed on myself. And so they have really started, I wouldn't say I'm there yet, but it's breaking me out into this place of freedom where I'm not in this shell anymore, where I can fully express myself and not be worried, right?
That's so cool about books, is that sometimes you can find out information about yourself or your world or whatever it is, whether it's a learning disability or maybe you're diagnosed with depression, or maybe you find out, you were adopted or something, like whatever it is. And that there's books there that can help you understand it in a more visceral way, as opposed to like this label that's like put on you. You can say like, you can read like how you're reading to learn about the brain, but you could also read a memoir about someone who has the same thing. And like, it's just, that's why I love books so much.
Because it's my next phase is like a memoir.
Oh my God. I love memoir. I have some really dark, deep, I like dark, heavy reading. So if you're ever in the mood of like, I've got all the memoir recs for you. Don't worry.
Yes. You gotta throw those
I'll send them all to you. What are you reading right now?
Well, what I just got done with, you guys probably think I'm just the biggest nerd, but
no, this is a book podcast. Everyone listening is a giant nerd. Don't worry.
I just got done reading a book called Psycho-Cybernetics.
Okay.
And it's absolutely fascinating.
Okay, what's it about?
Again, it's about the mind, about the brain, and it's also there's this guy who Maxwell. I read these books and I often
It's
overlook
okay.
their.
We put everything in the show notes, so we'll put like a link to the book and the author's name, so people,
cool.
everyone will have the
Great,
information.
great.
Don't worry.
Well, this guy, he was a face surgeon, and so what he experienced through his experience as a surgeon is that some people would feel amazing when they get done and their life would change inside and out, and then there were some that still felt like they were ugly and they weren't worthy, and then this, and so that led him into understanding this mind and this spirit and emotional side better, and he started digging into that. So he had this ability to change someone's look but also change their inside as well, and it's just so much fascinating stuff. It's it talks about in moments of crisis, like when we have to, if it's like a job interview or you have to stand up on stage, it's like gives you practical skills in order to get the best out of yourself and to tap into those limited, those untapped potential within you that we don't know how to, and it just directs you and guides you. And I don't know, I just find it fascinating.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to reading? What's next on your list?
Like I said, I want to read a biography, a memoir, and I haven't been led to one. I kind of like books are kind of like led to me, sort of thing.
Like someone will recommend them to you or something.
So I put it out there into the universe, and so
you know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna put all your social media and stuff in the show notes, and people are gonna message you like, "Oh, you need to read this book." So
yes, please send them my way.
My listeners are super nerds like us, and they're also really awesome, cool people. So they'll find you. They'll be like, "Oh, Alec, check this out!" Like,
and as you can tell, I'm more on this if you want to call it self-help, motivation, inspiration. So hey, feel free to direct me to another direction genre if you feel
totally.
Like
you're gonna get so many literary fiction books. You're not even gonna know how many stories you're gonna hear about. Well, what's a book that you like to recommend to people?
Ooh, what book? 7 Sundays. No.
Well, obviously we recommend that book, but what's a book that before you wrote your own book?
I would say The 4 Agreements, and I say that because it's simple, it's sweet, and it's right to the point.
So true.
And it's something that you can like stick in your bag and you can revert to like that. Like there's some books out there that are more in depth. You need to sit down. You need to like really put your time into. And so I think like a smaller book like that you can revert back to whenever,
kind of like a guide.
A guide, yeah. And I think that 4 Agreements is kind of what that's been for me.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so what's a really good book that someone's recommended to you?
There was a book called Return to Love by Marianne Williams that came to me. Like I said earlier, books are sort of, I'm led right to certain books, and
you're not alone in that.
Yes. Okay, good. And this was a point in time where I was going through a phase where I wanted to learn more about love and to understand it more, and to understand. I know these aren't necessarily things you can learn intellectually. You need experience with them, but growing up, I felt like I was missing out on a lot of this affection and this love that, not all of us have, but some of us have. And I can see the difference in people, the ones that have been affectionate with their family. And so I wanted to learn more about what that is and how does that look, and how can I open myself and receive this love right now, even regardless of my circumstances, and understanding. And that book actually opened me up in a way that I was like, wow, this is genius. This is great. She's amazing, amazing author.
Have you heard of the 5 Love Languages?
Yes.
Those books, have you read that?
I am actually have that on this audiobook right now.
Oh, are you an audiobook person?
There are certain books that I choose to do. I like to do both.
Is your book on audio?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
It is. I choose to do both to retain as much information as I possibly can. So if I'm in the car, I like to have the audio version, obviously, and then I also have the physical form.
Oh, so sometimes you do both.
Yes, depending on the book.
Valentine's Day is upon us, and I've got love on the brain. Love for books, duh, of course. Hello. Did you forget what podcast you're listening to? I love bringing you all great reads, exclusive author interviews, and behind the scenes book gossip. But I can only do that with your support over on Patreon and Substack. Our Stacks Patreon community, also known as the Stacks Pack, is where you can go for book club meetups, a private, very active Discord, and a year-long mega reading challenge to help you achieve all your reading goals. Plus, you also get that monthly bonus episode. Now, over on the Substack, you can subscribe to my newsletter, Unstacked, where I keep the book conversations going. I also give you a healthy dose of sports and pop culture, definitely some hot takes happening over there. And again, that bonus episode. If you don't have a few dollars to spare, don't worry. There are free options on the Substack and the Patreon to get you a little extra Stacks magic. Making this podcast is a total team effort, and by supporting my Patreon and my Substack, you allow me to support my amazing team that makes the show possible every single week. So if you or your friends are looking to meet other book lovers and support this indie podcast, come hang out with me on Patreon, Substack, or both. I would love to have you. And since we're talking about love, you can gift subscriptions to the Patreon and the Substack for that special reader in your life. For the Stacks Pack, head to patreon.com/thestacks. And for the newsletter, head to traceythomas.substack.com. And also, there are links to both in the show notes. Okay, see you in the Stacks. So we know that you love self-help personal growth books and brain books. Are there any genres that you avoid or you're just not that into?
Horror, other than like Goosebumps. I remember reading Goosebumps when I was younger, but
no scary things.
I cannot do scary movies, scary books. I don't know if that makes me a wuss, but I remember the most recent movie that I went and saw was It.
Okay, scary.
Yeah, and I
that's like real scary stuff.
Yeah, I was like stress eating. I ate peanut M&Ms and I ate all the popcorn, and I was just like, I felt sick afterwards, and I'm like, maybe these horror movies aren't just
not for you,
not for me. And so I think I have an innocent like an innocent brain or something, and I just like want to stay
not
as light as possible.
Yeah, keep it light. There's enough horror in the world. You don't need all of it like in the movie theater.
Right. Maybe one of your listeners can direct me to one that's maybe on the lighter side.
Well, maybe you could do like a thriller instead of horror, because thriller like has the suspense without having so much like clowns coming out of like sewer pipes and stuff, which is like my nightmare.
Yeah, okay. Let's do that then.
Yeah,
that sounds good. I could do
that. So we're gonna get you some memoirs, some thrillers. We're gonna get you some stuff.
Yeah.
How about this? How do you like to read? Like, what's your setup? Where are you? When do you like to read?
Yes, every morning. Okay. Every morning I give myself an hour to read.
Oh, nice.
It's like my way of conditioning myself. Just like if I go and exercise, it's the same way. And I have a totally different relationship with reading. I talk about how when I was younger with a disability, and then with that, you don't your relationship to learning is very skewed, and over time that's changed for me. And now I'm obsessed with reading and learning.
I love that.
And so every morning it's like my number one thing. It's like I have to get up and read. Not that's like I don't have to. It's like I crave to. It's like it's like eating chocolate.
Yeah,
to me.
You're just so into it.
Yeah.
And like, do you do it in your bed? Do you get up and like go? Do you have like a reading chair?
I have like a reading. I have a desk
area.
that I do. I like to get up out of bed.
Okay.
Because I'll probably just fall asleep.
Yes,
I have to be
sometimes.
Yeah, I need to be in a posture where I'm like alert.
Totally.
Yeah.
What's the last book that made you laugh?
They all made me cry.
Well, that's the next question. So if you can do that instead.
I look at the books that I've read over time, and I think that there is it's something comical about them. And I know this is a very vague way of answering
don't
this.
Worry.
Because I have been educating myself. I look at it and I think to myself that, wow, I have thought this way my whole life. And now I'm stepping out and thinking a different way. All these belief systems set up that like culturally are put on us and stuff. And now that I look back at my life, and that's comical. Like this whole thing, like I accepted all this stuff.
Right.
I'm opening myself up to something completely different. And so I always have a smile after
Mhm.
each book that I read.
Right. 'Cause you're like, I just learned this new awesome thing.
Yeah, and I can apply that to my life.
Well, so normally I ask, what's a book that you've liked that you've learned a lot? But I'll skip that because it sounds like basically
Yeah,
everything you read
yeah,
is eye opening for
yeah.
you. Can you think of any books that you've read that have made you angry? Like either the content or just like the subject matter or anything? Like books that have kind of gotten your under your skin?
Um, there are certain times when I read scripture, I feel that way,
Mm-hmm.
and this is because it challenges me,
Interesting.
and it like God challenges me, and I don't know if that's if that's a good thing, but that I feel that way at times. But it's just the truth. It's the reality that if it's certain scripture or a story or whatever, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like come on, like it's like we're human or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it, but I've been really challenged through scripture big
That's
time.
interesting.
Yeah.
What about a book that you're really proud to have read?
I would also say okay, I read the Old Testament.
Okay. Like start to finish, like a
Start to
book.
finish. Okay, I skipped over the genealogy stuff. Like,
Okay.
I don't think God's looking down at me and
Gotcha.
saying like, "Bad, you're
No.
bad." No, the going through the Old Testament and actually getting through it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I retained of it,
Sure.
but I was like, "This is a goal of mine," and I did it, and that felt good. It felt fantastic. It made me help me understand sort of the connection a little bit.
Have you read the New Testament as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a lot. It's like PG-13
Got
version.
Got
I
it.
feel like.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Old Testament.
The
New Testament.
The New
Excuse
Testament.
me.
Yeah.
The Old Testament is a little
It's
rougher.
It's a little rougher on the edges, I'd say, and I think it's sometimes harder to relate to at times. But
Okay.
I think that I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's one of those journeys where you think about it, you look back, and you're like, wow, things were a lot different back then, compared to what they are now. And so, yeah. But when it comes to the New Testament and talking about love and grace and all of those things, I think we all need to hear those types of things to stop being so hard on ourselves and have that sort of that understanding that the higher power, whatever you want to call it, is on our side.
Sure. What about a book that you've read that you're embarrassed about?
So this is funny, but when I go on an airplane or something and I'm carrying like a book on love in my hand, and I'm like this guy, like I just feel embarrassed about even carrying that book. And I'm like,
even if you're totally into the book, you're just
even
like,
if I've totally like loved this book, and that's my insecurity. But like I'll try to like pull it to the side and like so something they don't see the cover of it. And I was sitting next to this older woman on an airplane, and she saw that I was reading this book, The Return to Love, and she was like, oh my gosh. I think she's like started squeezing my cheeks because she was like, that's so amazing. Like, and more men need to read books like this. I'm like, no. Like, I'm not reading this book. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're like, stop drawing attention to me.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when I read all my serial killer books. I'm like, I don't want people to think I'm like a serial killer.
Okay.
But,
So I'm not the only one that feels that way.
No, I get embarrassed about all sorts of books.
Yeah. What about you? What do you?
I get embarrassed. Like my number one answer for this is always 50 Shades of Grey, because I like really read it and liked it and was like, this is so embarrassing, because I consider myself to be, I read a lot of true crime and like a lot of like serious stuff about like race and politics, and I was like on the airplane like, ooh, what's gonna happen next? Like sexy and like this is so hot, so it's like totally embarrassing, but
50. Should I read that book? No.
I mean, you can. It's a different way to return to love. I guess.
Would I get something? What would I get out of it? What do you think?
You'd have it's entertaining.
Oh, is
the writing is not good at all, but like it's an entertaining story. You could probably stop after the first one. I mean, it's like a lady's like sexy book. Like it's like a romance book. I don't know.
Would you rather see the movie or the book?
I did not see the movie. I felt like I spent enough time with those characters. I feel like I was able to move on, and here I am 7 years later or something, and still one of my most embarrassing reads. So there you go. How about something that you've never read that you're embarrassed that you've never read? Most people say some sort of a classic here, but I'd be interested if you had a different one. Most people say The Russians, like Anna Karenina. Or
I haven't read any Stephen King novels.
I've never either.
Okay, so
But that's okay.
is that not like?
I'm not embarrassed by that, but I don't like scary. So
Yeah.
that's like not really in my wheelhouse.
Right.
But like most people have.
Yeah, I mean, I think I feel like whenever I say that, the people look at me like, "You crazy? What are you doing?"
People really like him.
Yeah, they really like. I mean, he's been around for
so long,
a long time.
And also the other one like that is Grisham, John Grisham. He has all like he did like the Pelican Brief or whatever, and I've never read any of that stuff. And he still writes. Like they're both still writing. They're prolific. They're like hundreds of books, which is crazy.
How do you think they write?
I don't. Well, I've never written a single book, and you've written one, so
that's
you
like
probably have a better sense.
Like it's like it's the nutrition and spiritual. I mean,
like how do they come up with the ideas?
Yeah, I mean that's like just. I'm actually training someone that's writing a short story right now.
Okay.
It's a novel. It's like a thriller type.
Okay,
and it's just. One thing leads to another. You got to go deeper, and this leads and opens up. It's like, when does this ever stop? And I'm like, no wonder if you're into it, like you can write a book that's 500 pages, like no problem.
No problem. Yeah, I don't know how they do it, and they are big books. I don't know.
It's a pretty intense read.
I mean,
but if you're into it,
totally. I think like if it's a good book, you could like I've read books that are 700, 800 pages in 5 days, and then I've read books that are 200 pages that have taken me like a week and a half. Like it just wasn't for me.
Yes.
You know, so
I was about to say, man, I'm a really slow reader compared to you.
Well, I'm a slow reader, but if the book is really good, I'll spend hours reading it. So like the part of it is if a book is really good and it's long and I read it in 5 days, I probably spent 5 hours a day reading it. Whereas like if the book is short and I'm not that into it, I'll spend 20 minutes here and there. So I'm not really like, because I'm just not as inspired by it.
I think the best vacation would be on the beach somewhere and just having like a ton of books.
Totally.
And just reading, because I feel like the biggest thing for me is like I feel like an hour is not enough time for me. Like and that's all I have. My schedule is crazy. I just wish I had more time.
I know.
And actually last Christmas I stayed in LA for the first time with no family. And I just read
the whole time.
It was
kind of
the
nice.
best vacation.
It's kind of nice. I mean, I feel that. I'm not going to get any reading done over the holiday, but it's fine.
Yeah.
What would you say is a favorite book that was assigned to you during school?
I would Hamlet.
Oh.
Probably yes. I think because, like I said, I was a different person back then.
Sure. We all were. Don't worry.
I think the reason why I say Hamlet, it was because that I watched the movie during class. So I was able to understand it and to make those connections. But yeah, I wasn't much of a reader. I never gave myself a chance to.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, school's not easy if you're struggling with learning disabilities. Like, school's not made for people who are having a hard time.
Yeah,
it's made for people who it's easy.
Yeah, I think that there's a way, the people that excel at it. There's people like me who are like sort of like outside that box,
right?
And that sort of like I found myself free once I got out of school,
right? Because when you're in school, you feel like you're a failure, but then once you get out, you're like, oh, there's different ways to do things.
Yeah, there's different ways.
Schools are great and horrible.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love learning, and I wish I had this attitude towards learning, way back when.
Right. And the time too, like I'm sure there's a lot of different things that play into how you can find your way to it. And there's just not enough time in a school year to like customize everything to everyone's abilities, but it's too bad.
What about you? What was your...
Well, I don't even know if I have one. My favorite book I read in school, The Giver, that was in like 4th grade. We read that. It's a really good children's book about like dystopia, but I still love that book. I still love that book.
I can't believe you remember all. What did you say? 4th grade?
4th grade. Well, I've reread it since. It's like one of my favorite books. I read it like in 7th grade, and then I actually don't even have my copy anymore, which is too bad. I think my mom has it. If you were a teacher, what's a book you might recommend to your students, or you might assign in class?
I would think it's maybe one of these books that I've read that help you sort of get you ready for the outside world,
right?
A little bit more. And if that is like maybe like a Tony Robbins, or maybe that's like a old school like Napoleon Hill, or somebody that's going to inspire you to think outside that box and to sort of lift yourself outside and not seeing like, okay, maybe there's another way to live, and just to get people ready. Even if it's like, I don't even like for a long time didn't even know how to write a check. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
or what it was to invest your money at a
Sure.
young, you know what I mean?
Right.
Those types of things that will really help people long term.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you have any books on fitness or health that you really love?
Yeah, I did well, there's one called The Maker's Diet that I've been reading recently, and that's about this guy who had Crohn's disease, and he was like 80 pounds at one point.
Oh my God.
And he was super sick, and he tried everything. That he went to a diet, like a sort of like a kosher diet, and over time it absolutely saved him. And he talks about like the digestive system. It's really it's intensive, but it's fascinating. Just the fact that like he just adopted this like the tradition of way of eating into his, like, it's been around forever, into his own life, and it changed, and it was there the whole time. He was trying all these new things, and nothing worked for him, and then he tapped into the kosher diet, and it was like game over.
Worked for him.
And then there was something that I did in college. I did a project on, it's called Nutrient Timing, and it was just like this self-published book.
Interesting.
And it's really about how eating foods at certain times, like after workout and during certain times of the day, to get the most effective out of the nutrients, and understanding what's going on in your body, why you eat protein and carbs after workout, not just protein, because you need something to shunt all the protein into the muscles, and that's what carbs do. And so it educates you in a way where it's like it really breaks things down. And once I started implementing that into my whole workout program, I really saw like massive changes.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one more question from you, and full disclosure, I stole this question from the New York Times by the book, which is like where they interview authors. But they've been doing it for years. If you could require the President of the United States to read one book, what would it be? And just to be fair, this question, they were doing it long ago. Now it feels like very triggering for people. Like it feels like I'm like trying to catch you, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Like they did it with Obama, they did it with Clinton, they did it with Bush. So now we have Trump.
How about A Return to Love?
Oh, that's good.
Yes, I think we all need a little bit more love right now in our lives. So
yeah,
I think that might be a good one.
So good. Okay, so next week you're coming back. We're talking about The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. We already talked about it a little bit, so we won't do a preview, but do you have anything else you want to say before we go?
Man, you really covered the whole book game really well. So you're awesome at this.
Thanks.
Yeah. No, I think that people, when it comes to 7 Sundays, there's one message that I like to give, and that is my whole goal here is that it's not this exercise and diet book or that you have, and it's like, okay, I have 43 days to reach my goal. I want people to be empowered to create this as a lifestyle, to continue to move forward, and they can put this book down and say, I can do this on my own. And so that's what I'm really looking for in terms of the message of 7 Sundays and helping people with that.
Perfect. I love that. So people, you can get 7 Sundays. It's out now. You can get it on Amazon. You can order it from your local bookstore if they don't have it. You can also get it through Simon & Schuster. So yeah.
Yes.
Alec, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you guys in the stacks. That does it for us today. Thank you all so much for listening, and thank you to Alec for joining us today. Next Wednesday, Alec is back to discuss The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I'll be back on Monday, December 31st with an episode of The Short Stacks. It's our special New Year's Eve episode. I'll be sharing my top 5 favorite books of 2018, and I have a special guest returning to share hers as well, so make sure you tune in. Also, you can keep casting your votes for the 2018 Battle of the Books on our Instagram page, so make sure you're following us at @TheStacksPod. To join the Stacks Pack and to get inside access to this show, like perks and the book club and more, go to patreon.com/thestacks. Make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you get your podcasts, and if you're listening through Apple Podcasts, please take a moment to rate and review the show. I would like to give a special thank you to Jay Schwartz. Our graphic designer is Robin McCrite, and our theme music is from Tegirigis. This show was created and produced by me, Tracy Thomas.